Hi, AccuWeather.com meteorologist Joe Bastardi here. You've clicked on the Long Ranger for North America. Check out the column if you can. I've now officially expanded into Europe. I've been eating so much protein that I've just expanded all over the place. Now, we're doing the European column now, and I started that last night. I don't know if we're going to start doing a Long Ranger for Europe. I'll have to ask gentleman Jim Kander, who is the head honcho in the internet section here at AccuWeather, whether we're going to start doing that. It's funny because my wife saw me working on the European discussion last night, and she goes, "How do you have time to do all this?" And I said, "Who are you, and who are those two little kids running around in here?" No, only kidding. It's a big family affair. I work at home in front with my kids and stuff, and have a lot of fun and all that stuff. Obviously, I have fun in what I do, as long as the weather behaves, in my mind, somewhat according to the plan I outlined. And a lot of times that may not be according to the plan you think I outlined, or we have disagreements. I get email about that. All right, here we go with the cold water moving west off South America. I launched into an extensive discussion on what is going on here with the Southern Oscillation Index, and also starting to, as usual, try. It's funny that I would be trying to do this, try to restore some balance and common sense, in that now there is a fanatical scream for La Nina, as loud as the scream about El Nino was last year. But we will continue to monitor this situation. Southern Oscillation Index going negative again, as we're pulsing out of this pattern. All right. So what happens is, my theory is that whatever comes last, people get all excited about. So we saw the index jump like crazy. So, oh, it's not going to start. It's going right to La Nina. Look out and all this. So you start hearing that stuff. So La Nina will probably be declared this summer, then be declared dead before we go into the winter. All depends on the weather. All right, here we go. Canada warming up here. Western Canada, what a reversal, huh, from last week. Remember those big 10-day deviations from normal? Here's our recurving typhoon, and it's way out here in 168 hours. This is an upper low that's left behind. We're seeing the pattern of trough splitting going on. And what this does is sends this trough in here, builds this ridge in here. So we got 6 to 10 more days of the ridge in the eastern part of the United States. But you notice ridging going on here, which is conducive to ridging off the east coast of the United States. So the idea is 1 step forward, 2 steps back. We will get this ridge to progress. Let me get to the North American map. All right. Here's where we are at 72 hours. Here's the big trough in the east. Second piece coming around here. Big trough, Gulf of Alaska. The ridge balloons up and then starts progressing out. This will flatten this trough and send it out. And what I expect to happen in this pattern in general terms. Now this is valid the 29th of May. So what happens is we're having these pulses of amplification all during spring. There, we're in the west with the deep trough. This is the first time we've seen it in the east. It's been backing up. This has been backing up in the means. You have systems moving through, but the mean troughs and ridges are backing up, so to speak, which is because the wavelengths are shortening, because we're going into the summer season, and we're getting rid of what's left of that split. But what I expect to happen here is that the weather pattern will flatten out for 8, 10, 12 days, and then the next amplification of the trough will be further back to the west, maybe in this area in the middle of June. And finally, at the, for the summer, we'll probably see the trough lining up in here, and it'll be weaker. I mean, you'll connect ridges and hook. I should probably just do something like this, hook ridges and everything else. But it appears that this particular year, things are shifted a little bit further west than last year. Remember, last year that ridge really began ballooning in here. This year, the first big high tide, and the high tide occurs at about 120 hours, is back in here. But you can see, if you've been following along, what has happened here, that this split has come back and for the first time is hooked up with this. And this little upper low gets caught underneath in here. So we've got the ridge here now. It comes up and it builds. A piece comes in this weekend, drops off here, and winds up here, and then starts progressing out. So it progresses out, everything flattens, and then you'll see it, next amplification, probably amplify further west, and then we'll get a ridge down off the southeastern part of the United States. And that's what I think is going on. I'm trying to time this pulse. This is a lot harder than last year because we've got a couple of different signals going on here. Watch this flip in Europe. You ready? Watch this. You folks watching in Europe, watch it. You ready? Abracadabra. ridge where there was a trough. How about them apples? Huh? But this is probably going to try to progress in. But you see the same kind of trough splitting going on. Look, this lifts out, right? And then you see a piece take off to the southeast. And so we're splitting troughs. It's not so much a split flow as singular big troughs come in and they split, as opposed to what we had before with these southern branch features exclusively in the southern branch lifting up. Here we are in the Middle East. We're flattening the flow over there. The Canadian ensemble. Here we are tomorrow night, and there we are Monday night. You can see the troughs in. Now watch this. See, see the reversal? See how it just comes right through the ridge, and you see that it popping back there a little bit, and we see energy trying to come underneath, and the remnants of the winter pattern still try to show up. There's a little bit of a split going on, but the feedback's different, so it doesn't last nearly as long. Look at this. Actually, some ridging in the eastern part of the United States by day 10. I suspect in the east, and a lot of you folks have been writing me, this is the worst spring in history. I can't believe it. You're like Richard Allen. You ever see that comic? He's always upset and wearing black. Reminds me of me and you, Frank. Well, that's me. We're upset wearing black because we're Italian. But no. But the thing is that suddenly it'll be summertime. They'll be like, you know, the clouds will part and everything will be nice. I'm getting behind schedule. Here's the European. This is the European Sunday morning. Well, we even have some nice weather here. Oh, thunder. Get ready in there. There's the GFS at the same time. Go through this. It's Monday. Actually, this is now out to Tuesday, I believe. This is the European Tuesday. So we go GFS, where the maps are out of order. But you see the deep trough the GFS has in the east. The European has it there through next Thursday. Then it's going to start lifting out after that. 60-hour precipitation. We'll go through that real quick. You see the GFS defining a front in here. Look at the rain down in Texas. Look at more rain down in Texas. And you see it come to the north, but there's even more rain down in Texas. I guess the GFS thinks it's going to rain in Texas. I have run out of time. I have so many more maps to show you, but because I got a big mouth and I keep talking, I've run out of time. In fact, we have to check this to make sure I haven't truncated. Have I truncated? We'll find out. Frank says we will find out. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.